What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Daninator here. Today's episode I'm going to test the GlassPack M80 against a muffler of my own design. All I'm going to need are these aluminum cans, this industrial caulking, and my secret ingredient, this dirty diaper. I'm going to use it as packing. The trick is it gives it that low rumble out of that bottom end. Who am I trying to kid? No one can replace the Daninator, not even his twin brother. Thrillbilly here, my 97 Pontiac Firebird. Today, I'm going to change out all of my exterior light bulbs with LEDs from superbrightleds.com. Not a sponsor. The reason why I went with superbrightleds.com is because their website was really intuitive. It's pretty simple to use. You just type in your year, make, and model of your vehicle. They show illustrations of each bulb that you're going to need for the exterior of your car or interior if you decide to go that route. So I probably could have found a cheaper website, but this is just what I went with because it was really easy to use. LED bulbs right now aren't exactly super cheap, but honestly neither are incandescent bulbs. They're getting pretty expensive as well, just because they're getting kind of phased out. But one of the cool things about their website is they basically handpicked all the parts you're going to need for your upgrade. So one of the tips that they said, when you order a bulb, they recommend that you order the color that the lens is in. So if you're replacing the rear taillight bulb, you want to buy the red LEDs because they're so bright. If you did white, it would just kind of combat the red in the lens. So I have two side bumper lights. I have two lights in the tail lights, the two center high stop mount on the spoiler. I have the white for the license plate frame, two red bulbs for the left side, two red bulbs for the right side, two white bulbs for the reverse tail lights. Here's my two front turn signals, the 194s, and then the larger bulb for the daytime running lamp. And here's my dome light. Another thing you're going to need when you switch all your bulbs to LED is a turn signal switch that is rated for an LED. The electrical system on your Firebird or your Camaro is set for incandescent bulbs, which draws more energy. So if you've ever had a light bulb go out and you use your turn signal, you get that hyper flash, or it'll just stay on. In this case, if I were to switch all these bulbs to LED and not switch this turn signal switch out with this LED version, then you'll get what's called hyper flash. Basically, the system is not drawing enough current and it thinks you have bulb out. So you do need to get one of these as well, and I'll show you where that's located on my Firebird. But I also went with the interior dome light as an LED. The interior lighting on these cars are pretty abysmal, so went with the LED there. Hopefully get a little bit more light output for the interior of my car. And with that, let's get started. First things first, I want to get a baseline of what the light output looks like with the incandescent bulbs, so that when I put the LEDs in, I'll have a point of reference to see how much brighter they are. I'm sure it's really hard to pick up with the camera here, but with the naked eye, they just have a soft glow, not necessarily intense. I'm hoping to get a little bit more of a intense output and try to be more noticeable on the road. The other night, I drove home behind my Firebird and just didn't look like I was putting out a lot of light. A lot of the newer cars still are using incandescent bulbs, but they do a better job at getting the light to output with the shape of the lenses and the reflectors within the lens. So just trying to update 1997 technology, get us something a little bit brighter. Hopefully these little video tests here will show just how much better the output will be. I'm gonna go ahead and open the interior. Not super great. I've seen guys do full LEDs on their interior, which I think would be pretty cool. So hopefully this will be a little bit brighter for the back seat in this. First, I'm going to go after these front turn signals, and basically what you do is you get underneath the car and you take down these 10mm bolts for this plastic shielding, and you can access the turn signal and light bulbs and stuff from back here. I'm not doing that. I've had to change a bulb out on this before, and I found a much easier way to tackle this project. I'm not going to go from underneath the car, I'm actually going to go from above the car. I'll show you what I mean. To access the turn signal bulbs on the front bumper, I'm actually going to go through the headlight. What's neat too, if you take this switch and you go back one, it'll turn off the headlight. Now that I have the headlight turned off, I'm actually going to unplug the light bulb. Next thing I'm going to do, take a screwdriver, remove these 2 screws and the 2 screws on the other side to remove this bezel, and that'll give me clear access down through here to the light bulbs. Looks like I'm actually missing a screw on the back side of this one. Remove the headlight bezel. Now I have plenty of room to get my arm down there without having to lay on my back. You can see the housing there with the 2 sockets in it. So I'm going to go after those and take those bulbs out and replace them with my new LED unit. The added benefit of having an LED light is they run a lot cooler. That stock bulb is pretty much toasted this socket. I've heard of these kind of going bad on people and not being able to make good connections and stuff, so you have to buy new ones, but this one still functions, so for right now I'm going to roll with it. Here's the existing bulbs next to the LED bulbs. They should be about the same size. I hope there's not going to be much of a clearance issue getting some of these bulbs in these lenses or these housings, so we'll see. Thing is crispy. This one is not wanting to fit down in that socket very well. Let's see how that original bulb was doing. It looks like it's the same. I think the only difference is some extra little teeth at the bottom where my other one does not have it, so it's giving it some more length. So I may have to improvise on my connector here. So in order to get these to fit into my car, I'm going to have to take these little castle ridges off the top of this switch. Just basically do it with my utility knife. Just take a little bit off of it. Hate to do this to a brand new part, but everything is fully customizable. So if you need it to work, make it fit. Thankfully the plastic is pliable enough that it comes out pretty easily. Alright, give it a shot. That socket's pretty crispy. When I got it to finally snap in, it's starting to crack around the outside of the housing, so here's to hoping that holds. Okay, got both sides in. They snapped in pretty solidly. Definitely running a lot cooler. I was able to handle them after they've been on for a few minutes, and they're not hot at all. The rear side indicators uses a Torx T10. Has 1 screw in it, and there's a plastic tab that holds it in on the other side. Pry it out. And slide it out. My red bulb. Next, I'm going to go after the high stop light, same T10. These are a bit longer. Same 194s. I got the hatch open. I'm going to work on getting the rear taillights out. I'm going to have to pull back this interior panel here. There is a clip or something here. I'm going to try to get this backed out without damaging it. Taillight's basically held in with these like wing nut looking things. I believe there's 2, 4, 5 of them. This one's a little harder to get to. Yeah, it's all the way up here underneath the quarter panel. Push on the studs from the inside. Go ahead and get my 194. This is the replacement for these kind of push and twist bulbs. They're not the flat pinned like the front amber lights. You should have the same round bottom on them. Pushed in, twist it. Here's the other one. Now this one is the reverse tail light. You can see it's only got one plug on the bottom of it, or one little tip on the bottom of it. So it's just an on or off. It doesn't have the stop light. Push it in, twist. Alright, those are all in. What I'm going to do now is actually put the taillight lens back together, and then I'm going to do a shot of the passenger side still being the old incandescent bulbs and see how it compares to all the LEDs on the driver's side. Okay, so here is the driver's side installed with the super bright LEDs, and the passenger side still the old incandescent. When I was first putting the bulbs into the car, I didn't think that there was much of a difference. Now that I have them side by side, it's a big difference. Okay, so I also got a 194 bulb for the license plate frame, and here is the socket here. Thankfully I don't have to really unscrew anything, just reach up and twist it out. Don't know why it's hot, I'll tell you that. So here is the LED bulb in the license plate frame. It is definitely a lot brighter. I went with a natural white instead of the cool bright white, so I went with a 4000K. At least that's what it says on the box. And this one is not going to fit. It is too long for the housing. Bummer. Next I want to tackle my interior dome light. So here's my new light. It's going to be hot. It's got two tabs that you actually have to squeeze and pull. And these bulbs are just so hot. That's the old bulb, and here's my new one. It looks like these actually latch around the outside of the tabs. Of course, the metal hoops on this aren't as big as the other ones. These metal tabs are a little wider than what this hoop will let me get through. So I'm going to see if I can pinch them down a little bit without destroying my car. Yeah. Doing some welding. Don't want to do that anymore. Not my idea of a good time right now. Here we go. Can't really say that's much brighter than what I had before. It's definitely more white. This particular bulb only has LEDs on one side of it, where the incandescent was obviously just a filament right down the middle. So it put light out more at a radius. This one's kind of more directional now. So don't know how much of an improvement that really was. We'll find out when all the lights are out and I'll try it again. Okay, so it's a few days later. I had to take a break. I was working on replacing the turn signal switch flasher module, and I found one. I replaced it, and it turned out to be the hazards rather than the turn signals. The reason why it's a couple days later, I had to order a second one. On the 97 Firebird, I don't know if it's the same for 93 to 97, there are independent flasher modules, one for the turn signals and one for the hazard switch. So now I gotta go find turn signal switch module since I've already found the hazard switch module. And again, the hazard switch was located on this clip here, the silver clip on the bottom of the dashboard. I found the other clip. It's right here. So basically, when you get underneath your car to look for your flasher modules, look for these big red connectors. So there is my turn signal flasher module. All right, I'm gonna take my new one, plug it in until it snaps. Now, let's see if we also have turn signals. Okay, so I got the taillight back off of the car again because I noticed a problem. One of the brake lights wasn't blinking. It turned on, but when I turned my turn signal on or I checked my hazard lights flashing, only one of the two bulbs was blinking. I figured out what the problem is. I think this is a pretty key point if you're going to be doing this. I figured out what it was. Let me show it to you. You'll notice the one is blinking, but this one is not blinking. So I'm going to disconnect it from the socket. I'm going to turn it 180 degrees. Try again. And there it goes. Okay, so since the 194 white bulb that I bought for the license plate frame will not fit, I found that the glove box light is a 194 bulb, so I'm going to replace it with this LED unit. So there's the new LED bulb in my glove box. A lot brighter. That's it for the interior. I'm going to button up the kick panel here where I replaced the flashers, and that's my 97 Firebird LED swap. Hey guys, update. So it was just killing me that I had a regular light bulb over my license plate and that my super bright LED didn't fit. So couldn't sleep at night over it. So I went to AutoZone, just picked up a Sylvania LED $16.99 for these two bulbs. But anyway, I'm gonna see if it fits in the retainer, and that way I can have an LED for my license plate frame. Alright, so it's going in, but it's acting like it's still hitting on the back. So, oh, there it went. Oh, there it goes. Cool. Now I have an LED for my license plate frame. All is right with the world again.
Dun, 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 dun.